Hi, I'm Daniel Greene, and I'm excited to bring you another interview in this energy healing and manifesting series for the Empower You Facebook group. Today, my wonderful guest is an author, professional counsellor, a life coach, certified EFT practitioner, and also a motivational speaker. It's my pleasure to welcome Phyllis Reardon. Hi, Phyllis, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Danny. Thank you. We're on opposite sides of the ocean, but so happy to be here with you this morning.
Yeah, that's right. I was just thinking it proves what a huge, vast country Canada must be, because there's 3.5 hours time difference between the UK and where you are. If you go to
Yes,
somewhere like Calgary, there's a 7 hour time difference, and that's within the same country, so it's quite incredible.
I had a friend one time flew in from Rome to the city of St. John's, where I am now, on the east coast of Canada.
Yes.
And then they had to fly to the west coast of Canada. And it was almost twice as long to fly from Rome to the east coast of Canada over. So yeah, quite a vast country for sure.
Yeah, awesome. So I'd like to jump right in and ask you if you'd like to share a bit with our viewers, a bit of background about yourself and how you become such a heart-centered counsellor and therapist and practitioner, etc. So over to you.
Well, and I've been at it for a while, so I'll go back. I started my career as a teacher, and very quickly saw that I was doing a lot of counseling, although I wasn't a counselor, not trained. So at 43, and when my 4 kids could make their own lunches, I went back to university and did a master's in counseling, and used that then until I retired 10 years ago at 60.
Right.
And when I retired, I thought, I've got all this training. I need to continue to use my brain. And I started a life coaching business. Wrote several books on life coaching that are available on Amazon. And there's another side story that would be too long to go into now. Might be another interview of how EFT came into my life. And it did. And from an email from my son, who's a holistic personal trainer. And we spend the winters in Florida because it's quite cold here on the east coast of Canada. And while I was there, I discovered that they were having training in Orlando. Jen Goodard and Forrest Stamnick were doing training in Florida on this thing called EFT tapping. Now, at this point, I had my master's in counseling. I had about 50 courses in psychology, cognitive therapy. And I'm thinking, no way this can do what all the psychology courses did. So I paid my money to go and prove them wrong. And within the first half hour of the very first day of my training, a 50-year fear I had of dogs was taken away in 25 minutes.
Wow.
Well, I was sold. I said, if this can work for me personally, what can it do for my clients? So from that point on, my new life coaching business has as its main tool EFT, or commonly known as tapping for people who are not familiar with it, because we tap on acupuncture points throughout the body. So I guess that's what got me into EFT, and we use it every day, myself and my husband, and I use it with my clients all the time. And there's a chair sitting behind me that we call the magic chair, and miracles happen all the time with EFT.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's where I am. And I recently introduced essential oils to enhance my clients' experience.
Right. And I know you're going to be good enough to give us a demonstration of EFT a little bit later on in this interview, so you're going to want to stick around for that. Phyllis is going to share a little bit of her magic. But so I understand you're also a motivational speaker, and
yes.
So what sort of venues have you done? What sort of?
A lot of work with business women.
Right.
On beliefs around money. So again, tying in the tapping piece.
Yes.
And the limiting beliefs, because as you know, and I'm sure most of the people watching this video right now know, that our subconscious dictates 95% of our behavior. and it's based on beliefs. Now, if our beliefs are all supportive, they'll move us forward. If they're limiting in any way, they're holding us back.
Yeah.
So that's why so many New Year's resolutions fail.
That's right. Well, for the month of January, come February, the gym is empty, but throughout
Right.
January, it's yes, that's right.
It's those limiting beliefs. I can't do it.
Yes. Have you found any patterns or themes of people who come to see you for your support, for healing?
Well, I guess the biggest one would be much of what's keeping them stuck. And sometimes when I get a client, they'll initially say it's one thing. And as we tap, issues from the past surface. So a lot related to childhood, which
Yes.
makes sense, doesn't it? Our developmental years, when our beliefs are being developed.
Yes.
The other, which was surprising to me, I grew up Catholic, but I was kind of a recovering Catholic, was the spirituality that came from the EFT,
Right.
both the increase for me and for my clients. And I now actually I attract clients who are recovering from addictions and who are seeking to increase their spirituality. And if someone had told me 10 years ago you'd be working with people on their spirituality, that would seem kind of funny to me. But the EFT, the emotional freedom technique, the whole piece of the healing brings about the spirituality. And I say that, and one of my books is How to Heal Yourself, and based on a story of how I healed myself in the 80s. So I didn't have tapping or EFT then.
No.
But I was so desperate in need of healing that I created my own source in conjunction with reading Louise Hay's work. So yeah, spirituality, I guess, the common themes, the childhood limiting beliefs and the spirituality that comes from, surprisingly for some people, that this is what evolves.
Right. And what aspects of your work do you find the most rewarding? Do you have like a top three list of aspects you find the most rewarding?
Yes, I think, again, it's learning for me. It's so interesting, Danny, because when I started the process of my life coaching business, and then I would read and read and read and research, and so many people in their acknowledgements would say, I learned so much from my clients. And I would think, oh, well, is that a marketing ploy, But, and I'm sure everyone who's watching this, who's a practitioner, knows that we do learn so much from our clients.
Oh, absolutely.
And after every session that I tap, I feel a whole lot better. Obviously, I'm borrowing benefits from theirs. But I guess the three things that are, I guess, if I say it this way, three things that have come to me and are now a part of my life and my understanding and my wisdom, and that my clients also now have, that I probably, if I hadn't gotten into EFT, I think if EFT had not become a part of a tool that I'm using in my life coaching, I would not have gotten to where I am with the understanding of the need for intention setting. That is really, really big when I work with a client.
I agree, yes.
In my research, I've discovered that there's a certain time of the month that intention setting is most powerful. And that's when we have a geomagnetic storm. And we can find out when that's high on the NASA website. And as Einstein said, it's not philosophy, it's physics.
Right.
And I have worked with clients on the intention setting, and we'll pick that time during the month when a magnetic storm is most high. The second thing that is most important is raising the vibration. And I think this probably comes from the law of attraction. But as we raise our vibration, and I think through my essential oils, I think it's also in parts of the Bible. if we raise our vibration, we're more likely to achieve what we want to achieve in life. So it's the intention setting. It's getting rid of the crud that we have inside of us. We gather so much throughout our lifetime. We all do. And it's getting rid of that. And that helps raise the vibration. And it's those two things. And I think to creating, I call it a healing space.
Yes.
You know, it could be a meditation room. It doesn't have to be a meditation room. It can be your kitchen. It can be your bathroom. It can be anywhere where you put yourself in that healing space and allow the universe to bring to you, to send to you what you want. But the intention has to be there first. The crud, the crap's got to be cleared out.
Yes.
That rises, the more the crap and crud is cleared out, the vibration rises, which makes us more open to what we want from the universe. So those are the three things I think that stand out all the time when I work with somebody that I invited into my life, I guess, because it wasn't within the life coaching itself. That's not mentioned in my book, but the EFT has brought that into my life.
Okay, that's beautifully explained. I also agree as well. Setting the intention at the start of a session is very important. It really focuses your mind, sets your unconscious mind up, your subconscious mind to bring up all the things that need to be released and addressed. And yeah, that's something I'll never forget to do. I always make that a priority. We've perhaps already touched on this, Phyllis, but what would you say has been your own biggest healing issue, recurring theme throughout your own journey? Is there something that you've been working on year after year?
Yeah, I think initially with the EFT was that there was an arrogance I had about me, that I have a master's in counseling.
Yes.
And how could somebody come along and tap like this? And actually very quickly, and I tell this when I do my workshops, is how I begin. I was so cynical. And my son had sent me a video of it, and I tried it, and it worked. But still, I was going to prove them wrong. So I think it was that piece of allowing, the academic really helps, pushing the academic aside and allowing that spiritual piece in. I grew up Catholic, recovering Catholic, as I say, so very regimental in religion. And I, for a long time, attached fundamental religion to spiritualism, completely different. So allowing that spiritual piece in for me. And that certainly helps me, and it helps my clients too, because I'm a conduit. I become a conduit for them, connecting with the subconscious. I let them pick whatever they want to say, the source, the power, God, holy God. I hear all kinds of names for that higher power. And I say to them, Danny, and I'll say it now, 2 years ago, I was saying to my clients, you're going to be talking to your subconscious. And I would say to them, some of my mentors and some of my colleagues believe that the subconscious and God are the same. And then I would say, I'm not there yet. But now I say to them, I'm there now.
Right.
So I believe it's the same. And that's just a personal belief of mine. So that's been a big change for me, for sure.
Right. It's interesting. I think I first discovered EFT in about 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very personal health issue at the time. And so I tried it, and I had that 5-minute wonder that some people talk about. Yes. And after 5 minutes of tapping, the issue went, and I was just so amazed, and I was hooked. And went on the path of my own of EFT, and that's actually how we met. For those watching at home, Phyllis and I met on a level 3 EFT master practitioner training course a few years back now. So yes, I'm certainly sold on EFT as well, which might bring us nicely into doing a demonstration of emotional freedom techniques or tapping for those at home, if you're up to guiding us to do something.
Absolutely. I'll hydrate, because we're moving electricity around. Yes. Hydrating is most important. Absolutely, Danny. What would we like to work on? Well, for the people who, did you want to continue? Or
Please,
if you're watching this for the first time, acupuncture, tapping is like acupuncture without needles. So basically, we tap on our acupuncture points. Right now, I'm tapping on what's called the karate point. You can see Danny there tapping on his there too. And it's a combination of talk therapy and acupuncture without needles. So we talk and we tap. And if you have something that you want to tap on right now, you know, the biggest one is fear of public speaking. And that was a big one of mine. So I like to tell that story when I do my workshop. That was how I made the discovery with it. So if you have a fear right now, maybe you have to meet someone for coffee and you haven't met them before. Maybe you're going for a dinner with your mother-in-law. Maybe you've got a family member who's coming to visit. Any little thing, keep it easy. Keep it if you're tapping here with us right now. And I quickly want you to, so Danny, you don't have to say what it is. If you want to think.
I've got something emotional going on at this time, which is never far away from my mind. So yes, I want to work.
Okay. And for the people who are viewing right now, if you have a fear, you know, there's only two main emotions in life, and that's love and fear. Love, we run towards; fear, we back away from. And so if there's a fear that you have about anything from work, you got to give a talk, you got to meet somebody strange, you fear about money, fear about love, relationships, think about something. And as quickly as you can, and guessing is great, just guess what number you would give it if it, from a 0 to 10, with 0 being not there at all, to 10 being, oh my gosh, it is extreme inside of me right now.
My particular issue is a 7.
A 7. Okay. So Danny, I'll speak to you now that we've got the other people set up.
Okay.
So Danny, can you feel that in your body? Do you know where it's sitting in your body?
It's in my throat and solar plexus area as well. Yeah.
Okay. So it's showing up in 2 areas. And if you were to give it a color and a shape, just a guess now, the subconscious is great with guessing. We don't have to go to our head at all. We can just guess.
It's a yellow triangle.
The yellow triangle. Is it a fear?
Yes.
It's a fear. So you've got a yellow triangle fear sitting both in your throat and your solar plex, and it's about a 7.
Yes.
So is this triangle moving or vibrating in any way, or is it making a sound?
It's making like a thud sound, like a do. It feels quite dense as well.
Okay, so it's a dense, thubbing,
Thud, yeah.
throbbing, pulsating. Which word? It has to be your word.
Thudding.
Thud, a thud. It's making a thud. A yellow, dense thud triangle of fear.
Yes.
Is it the same in your solar plex as it is in your throat?
It's more like butterflies in my solar plexus.
Oh, did it change since we started to talk?
Yes, it's like
okay.
It's more. It's loosened up, but it's still fear. Okay. It's like, yeah.
Yellow butterflies?
Yes.
Okay. Dark yellow or light yellow?
It's now changed to grey from yellow.
Interesting. So we're tapping just on, and this is what you'll see will happen. Just the acknowledgement of a fear will release it to some degree.
Yes.
So we'll begin. And this is called the setup statement. Even though, so repeat after me, Danny, so you're going to be my echo. Even though I have this yellow triangle 7 fear.
I have this yellow triangle of 7 fear.
Sitting in my solar plex and my throat.
Sitting in my solar plexus and throat.
And for some strange reason. A part of me wants to hang on to this. But I totally and completely love and accept myself. Can you say that? Are you comfortable saying that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I totally and completely love and accept myself.
Okay, and we'll do this. This is called the setup statement, and we'll do it 3 times. We've done it once. We'll do it 2 times. Even though I have this yellow triangle fear.
That
it's dense and thudding.
And
And it's in my throat.
And it's in my throat.
Oh, but it's butterflies in my solar plex area now. Is that correct?
And it's butterflies in my solar plexus. That's correct.
That changed. And for some strange reason, a part of me wants to hang on to this.
And for some strange reason, a part of me wants to hang on to this.
But I totally and completely love and accept myself.
But I totally and completely love and accept myself anyway.
Now, we're going to do this one more time, but we got a teachable moment. So just going to pull aside, sidebar. I'm saying for some strange reason, a part of me wants to hang on to this. And that's your subconscious. And I know you know this, Danny, but for people who are listening, for our listening audience, the subconscious main purpose in life, your subconscious main purpose in life is to keep you safe. So many times the subconscious will fill us with fear to keep us from getting into a situation they know will cause us to get really anxious or upset or stomachs or not be able to sleep at night. So it holds us back by putting in that fear. So for some strange reason, a part of me wants to hang on to it. Is your the acknowledgement that your subconscious is there trying to keep you safe by putting this fear in there. But then we go on and we say to our subconscious, but I totally and completely love and accept myself.
But I totally love and complete myself.
One more time. Even though I have this yellow triangle fear.
I have this yellow triangle of fear.
That's a thudding 7.
That's a thudding 7.
And it's in my throat and my solar plex.
It's in my throat and solar plexus.
Is that still true? Is that still true? It has to be true for you. Has anything changed there?
Yeah, the solar plexus is gone, to be honest.
Okay. All righty.
My throat.
Okay. I thought that's why I stopped.
Yeah.
I totally and completely love and accept myself.
I totally and completely love and accept myself.
Okay, so now what we're going to do, there's many points throughout the body that we can tap on, but we're going to take what Danny was just echoing for me, and we're going to create a reminder phrase, and we're going to tap through, starting on top of the head. And this is how I was trained, and I think Danny too, through Gary Craig. Some people start at the eye. I always start at the top of the head because there's hundreds of acupuncture points between the two ears. So we tap there and we say, this yellow fear.
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 This yellow fear that's filling my throat.
This yellow fear that's filling my throat.
The next point is where the eyebrow begins. This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
And the next point is the corner of the eye. This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
And under the eye, this yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
Under the nose, this yellow fear that's filling my throat.
This yellow fear that's still in my throat.
Under the bottom lip, this yellow fear that's filling my throat.
This yellow fear that's filling my throat.
And now the collarbone, it's like where the U is, put your finger in that U about an inch or two to one side or the other. This yellow fear that's filling my throat.
This yellow fear that's filling my throat.
And the next one, if you put your arm, if you're wearing a bra, right where your little finger is. If not, just put your hand right up the armpit where the little finger is. This yellow fear that's filling my throat.
This yellow fear that's still in my throat.
Okay, take a deep breath, Danny, please. Now, I just want to explain, we just did all negative. We just did all negative. And our next round we're going to do we'll alternate negative and positive. So can I get you to just go in and check and see now and see if there's been any change at all in the throat, in that 7 solid, dense triangle?
7 to about a 3, to be honest.
Okay. And I always say when I'm working with a client, if we don't drop 3 or 4 points in the first round, we haven't got the words correct. Yeah. We have to be really specific. And of course, if you're feeling it, it is whatever that feeling is that you name it. So we really have to be specific. So we do have the words. We have that.
Yeah, definitely 7 to 3, yes.
So this time we'll do a round, and we don't do the setup statement second time. And we're going to go positive and negative. Positive and negative, positive and negative, positive. Yes, okay, positive. This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
I don't need this in my body anymore.
I don't need this in my body anymore.
Eyebrow. This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
This doesn't serve me anymore.
This doesn't serve me anymore.
Corner of the eye. This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
I need this gone right now.
I need this gone right now.
This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
I don't want it there.
I don't want it there.
This yellow fear.
This yellow fear.
I need it gone.
I need it gone.
This yellow fear is not serving me.
This yellow fear is not serving me.
This yellow fear that's in my throat.
This yellow fear that's in my throat.
I want it gone.
I want it gone.
I don't need it anymore.
I don't need it anymore.
This yellow fear.
This yellow fear
Is leaving my body.
is leaving my body.
Leaving my body. Right now.
My body right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay. Deep breath, Danny, please. Can you just go into your throat area there?
It's opened up loads now. It's much more free flowing. It was so restricted before. It was like, oh, now it's just opened up.
If you were to give it a number 0 to 10, I think we had it from a 7 to a 3, was it?
I'm struggling to find it now, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. So just guess. Guess. Don't think. Just guess.
1.
1. Okay. And now that we're down to 1, we can do what we call a choice round. And I love this part of it because the client gets to choose. So what would you like to feel, Danny, in your throat?
Freedom to speak my mind, to speak my truth in a loving, caring, compassionate way.
Okay, so I choose. So we're going to tap around of I choose, and we're going to do, okay, so even though when we just started this about 5 or 7 minutes ago, I lost track of time.
Well, we just started this 5 minutes or so ago, yes.
I had a yellow fear in my throat.
I had a yellow fear in my throat.
That was about a 7.
That was about a 7.
It was dense and it was thudding.
It was dense and it was thudding.
And now it's down to a 1.
And now it's down to a 1. How cool is that?
So now I choose.
So now I choose
to fill my throat.
To fill my throat.
With your words.
With love, compassion, freedom to speak my truth.
Okay, I choose. And now we'll tap around. I choose.
I choose to speak my truth in a loving, compassionate way.
I choose to speak my truth in a loving, compassionate way.
I choose to speak my truth in a loving and compassionate way.
I choose to speak my truth.
I choose to speak my truth in a loving
and compassionate way. I choose to speak my truth.
I choose to speak my truth
in a loving and compassionate way.
In a loving and compassionate way.
I choose to speak my truth.
To speak my truth.
In a loving and compassionate way.
In a loving and compassionate way.
I choose
to
speak my truth.
To speak my truth.
In a loving and compassionate way.
In a loving and compassionate way.
I choose.
Ooh, shifting there.
Ooh, there was a release. To speak my truth.
To speak my truth.
In a loving and compassionate way.
In a loving and compassionate way.
One more time. I choose to speak my truth.
I choose to speak my truth.
In a loving and compassionate way.
In a loving and compassionate way.
You have some water there to take?
I don't. I'll get some in a minute.
I just want to show there, as Danny started to tap his collarbone, I'm going to, we find as EFT practitioners and our clients find that there'll be one point that they probably favor, and that's mine. And I'm thinking it might be Danny's, because if you rewind the tape, you'll see that as Danny started to tap on his collarbone point, he started to yawn. And that's a release. He wasn't being rude. So I tell my clients up front, and I didn't tell Danny in the beginning, it's yawning, it's sighing. There's different ways that the body reacts to release. And he may feel a little bit tired after. Even though this is not a really heavy issue that we're into, there's something that he's cleared. So it's like working out in the gym. You are working with your body. You're moving energy around. That's why it's important. If you're listening to this and you want to tap, make sure you're hydrated before you begin. Okay, could we I had to do that teachable moments. All right, let's
No,
go
no,
back.
that's fine, to be honest.
Thank you.
Um,
So
you,
can you, I'm sorry, go on.
you use EFT with your clients all the time, and
Yes.
I would need a refresher course to do a proper structured EFT session. So this has kind of helped me as a refresher course
Oh,
as well. I haven't done
perfect.
it for a long time, so it's been
Perfect.
really cool, and that was an awesome demonstration. You can see, for those watching at home, how long it took to go from a 7 down to,
A 3 and then 3 to a 1.
and then now I'm struggling to find it. It's gone. And as Phyllis says, if you need to respin this video again and let Phyllis guide you while she's guiding me on your own issue, if you haven't been tapping along already, you might just be amazed. And if you've gotten value from this video, then hit the like button, hit the love button, show Phyllis some love for her time and energy and expertise and sharing a piece of her heart today. And if you want to connect with Phyllis or work with her, how's best to do so? You know, what's the best way to connect with you?
Facebook for sure,
Right.
and or email. And I think all that is that all that information within your group?
Yes, I noticed you updated the files section in this very Empower You Facebook group. If you click on the files section, if you're using Android, it's to the top. And if you're using any other device, it's over on the left-hand side. Click Files,
Right.
and you'll see.
And sorry.
Carry on.
No, it's okay. Go on.
You'll see all of the practitioners who have updated their details, and Phyllis, I know, is on that list now. So if you want to connect to that, and I recommend you do, you've seen, you know, this lady knows what she's talking about, got masses of experience, and has done wonders with clients, written books. So it's been a real blast spending some time with you, Phyllis. Do you have any final thoughts?
I just trying to think. It's the whole piece, I guess, the personal development. And if we're looking for emotional healing, or if you're looking for physical healing, and if I can, and I don't know if that's on my website, this is the one that I talk about, and this was before EFT, how I healed myself back in the 80s. And it was just so desperate. I needed to, I had 4 kids, so I couldn't get sick, that kind of thing. Be open, I guess, and I'm sure if people are in here, most of them are there right now. So, you know, I'm preaching probably to the converted, and I certainly don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but it's opening yourself up. And this is how I work with clients. I'll ask them if they're spiritual, and a lot of them will say yes. It doesn't matter if you are or you're not, you can still work, and it can be EFT or any energy healing mode. And I think that it certainly has enriched my life to be involved in a form of energy healing. And there's many forms of energy healing.
Yes.
This is the one that came into my life. This is the one that I use every day. And this is the one main tool I use with my clients. I've also introduced essential oils.
Yes.
And I think that if you're a practitioner, it enhances your success with your clients. So if anyone would like to know about that, certainly I don't want to be too willing to let them know, as practitioners, as energy healers, how they can use essential oils within their practice. And I'm on Facebook as Phyllis Reardon, or email me, phyllis@coachphyllis.com. I think it's connecting with the universe and just being open to allowing healing in and staying positive.
Yes.
Being very positive, setting an intention, staying positive. And I think, Danny, one thing I think that is most important, the words that we use. So if we use words of healing, we'll heal both physically and emotionally. And regardless of which mode of healing energy that you use, remember always, if you're going into a session with a practitioner, when you leave, continue to use positive, uplifting words. Words are so important. They have energy, they have power, and they can define our life in a good way and a not so good way. So I guess the words are most important. So I guess that's it. And thank you very much. So appreciated this.
Beautifully put. And thank you, Phyllis. Thank you to everyone at home who's tuned in. And until the next video interview, I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye now.
Thanks.